Hello and welcome to Amethyst Star Crafting. My name is Jane Ormark and I'm a UK independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. And we're looking at some of the new products that I got in my pre-order, which will be available for customers on the 5th of January. And we're looking today at a Saleabration item. Now, a Saleabration item is something that you can get for free for a qualifying purchase. So if you spend £45 anywhere else in the catalogue from the 5th of January, you can earn this stamp set absolutely free. And it's a beautiful, it's called Corner Bouquet because you can put the pieces in on the corner. So you've got a large sort of floral sprig, you've got a smaller floral sprig, and then you've got a little leaf image, and then you've got a little tiny flower. So lots of ideas. It's a red rubber cling stamp, so very durable. And we are going to make a pretty card with this, doing it in a slightly different way. So not using it as a corner, but all will become clear. We are then using these new blending brushes. Now, I have never bought any blending brushes. I've always used our sponge daubers. And when I looked at this in the catalogue, I thought that this was sponge, but it's actually lots and lots and lots of little bristles that are, and I don't know whether you can see this. If some of you have used these before, you'll be familiar, but they are millions of or hundreds of thousands of very tiny little bristles. They are so soft and so compact. They're absolutely lovely. You've got a very good handle so you can sort of hold it from the edge, and you get a pack of 3, all of exactly the same size, but all absolutely beautiful. I'm really looking forward to using these. I've used one for the card that we're doing because I had a little go, and you can see it does colour, but the interesting thing is that once you've actually done it, you can almost clear off the colour and it doesn't sort of come out underneath. So I think that you don't really need to wash them too often, but you could wash them underneath the tap with some sort of, you know, gentle soap and that way. But I thought we'd have a go today. So we are going to, let's move my stamp set out of the way for the moment because we're using the blending brushes. We're using Magenta Madness, we're using Bumblebee, and we're using some Flirty Flamingo. And we are going to create a masked card. So the first thing we need is a piece of Whisper White cardstock, which, let me see, I don't know whether I cut myself a piece. Have I got a piece cut? Here we go. Yes, I have got a piece cut. I thought I had. Okay, so this is a piece of Whisper White cardstock, and we are going to cut a mask. So I use a piece of copy paper, which I will put underneath to just protect my grid paper so I can take it away afterwards. And I've taken the largest of the stitched shaped circles and cut my piece of copy paper exactly the same size. We've done this before so that it fits perfectly within the circle, so we can then just sort of, you know, carry away on that, and it's a really simple, easy way to do it. You can, as I've said, you can stick it down if you want to, but I tend to just roll with it. So we're going to start with the Flirty Flamingo. You literally just put your colour in on the brush. You can dab it off afterwards, but if it's quite a pale colour, you just literally start smoothing it across. Now, it'll start fairly lightly because that's what you want, and then you just build up the colour. It is incredibly smooth because these bristles are so fine. It really does make the most beautiful colouring. And as I say, just I'm using it fairly far down on the handle because I find that that allows you to just brush it gently and you don't tend to get any sort of smears in on there. So I'm just sort of taking this down at an angle, building up the colour as we go, and just doing sort of gentle circular motions. But you can see it, well, I hope you can see, there are no sort of brush marks or sponge marks which you can occasionally get with the sponge daubers. And don't get me wrong, I love the sponge daubers, but this I think is absolutely beautiful. So I'm just going to, in the centre of this, I'm just going to brush it through a bit. So that's going to be our flirty flamingo. Then I'm going to take the bumblebee. Let me just open this one up. So I'm going to take the bumblebee now, and I'm going to do the bumblebee in the centre. So again, it depends how juicy your stamps are, or your ink pads are, to how much you are going to get over on the top of this. But I'm doing it fairly sort of gently and just bringing it up. I'm not actually taking too much off of the side because I'm just sort of trying to blend it in as I go. So I'm building up the colour, doing some of it in between. So I want some of this in on the centre here. And again, using the end of the brush so I can get sort of depth of colour in, because I want to build it up as I'm going. So exactly the same as we would do with the sponge daubers, but this gives a far smoother look. And as I say, I know that there are others out on the market. I haven't tried any of them. This was the first time of trying it. I'd thought about it, and then excitingly, Stampin' Up brought them. Now I'm going to leave the bumblebee out because we might come back and just put a little bit more of the bumblebee in. And then I'm going to take the Magenta Madness at the top. So let me just make sure that I've got my mask where I want it, which I can just pick it up and put it down like that because I know that I've got it exactly the same size. And we're going to take the Magenta Madness. Now the Magenta Madness, you can see, is a very bright colour. So we just need to just start it off quite gently, but we're going to build it up as we go. So I'm going to move my ink pad this side because I want to just hold on to this up on here. So, and I'm literally just tapping. I'm not using a huge amount of colour on here at all. Sorry, a huge amount of ink on here. I'm just wanting to build it up and just bring it in. And as I say, I am so impressed with these. I'm sure if a lot of you have used them before, then you will already know how good they are, but you know, they just give such a smooth look. They really do. So I'm building it up a bit more because I want some of this colour to be a bit deeper. Like that. And then I'm going to go back to the bumblebee. So I'm just giving an extra, because the Magenta Madness is a really dark colour, but it doesn't sort of seem to settle on the bristles too much. So I'm now going back to the bumblebee, giving it a little bit of an extra, because what I want to do is to just blend it up through into the Magenta Madness at the top and down into the softer Flirty Flamingo at the bottom. So I just want to get that in on there, bring that up. I've got a little bit of a bobbly bit on there, but that's because I think I didn't put my brush quite as flat as I should have done. So we can take that through so it's darker. Just bring it in like that. So that's given us our, just want to take that up just a little bit more so you've got the colour really blending in, you've got no sharp edges. Okay, so then when we take this off, you have a really rather lovely blended colour through. So you've got the paleness of the Flirty Flamingo, which with the bumblebee almost sort of gives it an orangey look. And then you've got the lovely Magenta Madness at the top. And as I say, I've done it completely in a circle like that. Now we're going to get, and we're going to use this one. So not the largest one, but we're going to use the second one down. And I've already mounted it. And we're going to do it in black. So take a good black ink. I want a very nice dark black ink. So I'm using my favourite black ink. And then we can stamp that in. And I'm going to take it so at the bottom it comes in across on the top like this. We can stamp it out and you have a beautiful silhouette that comes through, and it looks like the flowers sort of coming up from there. Now I just need to clean my stamp. So give that a good clean up. And then in the same stamp set, you've got this tiny little flower, and we're just going to pick up a couple of areas with the tiny little flower. So I'm just getting the flower, and I'm going to put one just sort of fairly random, but it just, I want to pick up the colouring of the flower. And I just, do I want 3 or do I want just 2? I think I do want 3, and we'll take the other one just in on there. So you've just built up that area just a tiny bit, which is rather good. I think I got some ink on my fingers, but that should be fine. Okay, so I can now clean that one off. And then I have taken from, I showed you the other day, the first of one of the new sets, which is the art gallery, which again, I'm going to be using lots of these. I'm just showing you one card of everything to give you an idea. And we're going to do, I've got some birthdays coming up, so I'm using this happy birthday. So I've mounted the happy birthday. I'm going to just put some ink the stamp up. This is a photopolymer one, so it's easy to see. And then this is just going to come down at the bottom, fairly high up. And you've got your happy birthday on there. So just to finish it off, I'm going to put it in on a mat of the Magenta Madness. Like that. And then because I've put it in the centre and the sentiment brings it down, I would just add, let me get my box of twinklies out. I would add, now I'm just looking to see what I've got or what we can use in here. I've got a few of the Noble Peacock ones left, or I could just use some we could just have, I think, because it's quite a feminine looking card, we'll just have a few little pearls just up at the top, or maybe rhinestones. Let me have a look and see. Pearls or rhinestones, what do we reckon? Where are my rhinestones? I've got old ones. Where are my new rhinestones? Maybe I had them out. Here we go. Yes, I think the little rhinestones will look the prettiest. So let me just get, I need something to take the rhinestones off. Give me just a second. Grab my pokey tool, or my take your pick tool, which is my favourite tool of all. I use it all the time. And I think we're going to use, size-wise, I think we're going to use the smallest ones. So I'm literally just going to put that side or that side, this side I think. So we're going to have one, whoops, get this up, 2, 3, and that just then balances it, so then you've got the same sort of distance from the top and the bottom. So a very simple card, but how pretty does that look with the absolutely beautiful new stamp set, Corner Bouquet, which is a Saleabration stamp which you can earn for free on the 5th of, or from the 5th of January. So thank you so much for watching me. As always, please stay safe, please stay well, and please be kind. Bye bye.